Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're doing an EDH deck tech video of Atraxa, Praetors Voice. This is a Planeswalker themed EDH deck using Atraxa for the proliferate mechanic. So first off, I'm going to take a look at our mana base. I'm playing 35 lands. And first off, we're going to take a look at our multicolored lands. We have Command Tower, City of Brass, Mana Confluence, Reflecting Pool, and Inner Planar Beacon for Planeswalkers. So those are multicolored lands. And actually two more. We also have the two Triomes, Inditha Triome and Zagoth Triome. These are very nice because you can fetch for them because they have the keywords of plains, swamp, forest, etc. And also you can cycle them. So nice utility there. Moving on with the mana base, we have all 10 fetches. Because again, we're a 4-color deck. Very important to get our colors, so all 10 fetch lands. To accompany the 10 fetches, we have the 6 shock lands that we can play. Breeding Pool, Godless Shrine, Hallowed Fountain, Underground Tomb, Temple Garden, Watery Grave. So there's 6 of them because there's always going to be in a 4-color deck the 5th color and every color that pairs with that. So 4 lands that you won't be able to play, but you can play 6 of the color pair shocks. Then getting into the final part of our lands, just miscellaneous. We've got Urborg for black fixing. You've got Crocian Verge, again, to get anything that is a swamp or a plains, including those triomes or those shocks. Ancient Tomb just for ramp. And Karn's Bastion for proliferating. Kind of expensive, but again, it's on a land, so it's worth it. And now we're into our basics. So we're a true singleton deck here because we are just running 4 basics of our colors in regular basics, and then 4 basics of our colors in snow-covered. So that's the mana base. Moving on to the creatures. Creature count in this deck is relatively low because the Planeswalker count is going to be so high. Now, 11 creatures. Got first off just our ramp/fixing. Got Noble Hierarch, Dryad of the Asilian Grove, Crystalline Crawler. Again, this one has synergy with Proliferate because you can proliferate counters onto it. Now into utility creatures. First off, we've got creatures that double or increase the number of counters. We got Deep Glow Skate. That is a one-time doubling season when it enters the battlefield. Pure Imaginative Rascal. He, every time you put a counter on a permanent, he gives you an extra counter. So that's when the Planeswalkers enter, as well as every time they activate a loyalty ability, you add 1 in each of those instances. And then we got some proliferators. We got Evolution Sage, proliferates when you play a land, and Flux Channeler proliferates when you cast a non-creature spell. Then a couple creatures we've got that help get our Planeswalkers. We've got Dares You, gets a Planeswalker on entering the battlefield. We've got Arena Rector, gets a Planeswalker and puts it straight to the battlefield when it dies. So this is a good one to block and throw as fodder to protect your Planeswalkers, and then just give yourself another Planeswalker straight out of your deck. And Captain Sisay. This one is nice tech because now that Planeswalkers are considered all legendary, Sisay, as you know, taps to take a legendary card. So she can tap every turn and take a Planeswalker into hand every single turn for her activated ability. And Spark Double, just a clone, but can clone Planeswalkers. Now, moving on to the Planeswalkers, just have these sorted by color. And there are 21 Planeswalkers. So first off, for our mono-colored Planeswalkers, we got white, Ajani Steadfast. That one's nice because he can -2 to get extra loyalty counters on other Planeswalkers. So a nice super friend Planeswalker there. Elspeth, Sun's Champion. Jace, the Mind Sculptor. Jace, Unraveler of Secrets. Narset, Parter of Veils. Tamiyo, Teferi, Master of Time. Teferi, Temporal Archmage. Again, if you ever get to his emblem, super sweet. You can activate your Planeswalker abilities as an instant, but again, he's mostly just in there for the value. And Liliana Vess, as you know, does a -2 to tutor, nice ability. And Obnalixis, just card draw and value. So that's our monocolored Planeswalkers. Moving on to our multicolored Planeswalkers, we've got a Ajani Vengeant, Ashiok Dream Render. This one's punishing. No, opponents can't search their libraries, so you can fetch, but they can't, and you can tutor, but they can't. Dovin Baan, Narset Transcendent, Oko. Again, Oko pretty broken in EDH because he can actually Elkify your opponent's commanders, and they don't get to go back to the command zone because it doesn't exile them, it just turns them into an Elk. Tamiyo, Field Researcher. Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. Teferi, Time Raveler. Vraska, the Unseen. Vraska, Relic Seeker. And last but not least, Ugin. Nice board wipe. So there's our Planeswalkers. Next, moving on to our artifacts and enchantments. So first off, we've got just some standard mana ramp in Sol Ring, Mana Crypt, Arcane Signet. Then for a 4-color deck, Chromatic Lantern's nice because it gives all your lands the ability to tap for any color. And in a Proliferate deck, Everflowing Chalice is nice because it proliferates. And Astral Cornucopia proliferates. We've got the Contagion Engine, which is expensive, but once you get it down, all you have to do is pay 4 mana, and then you get to double proliferate every single turn you want to play 4. Rings of Brighthearth can copy Planeswalker activated abilities for 2. And the Chain Veil. So this one, very nice for Planeswalkers because you can pay 4 and you can activate your Planeswalker abilities a second time on all of your Planeswalkers. Then moving on to enchantments, we got Doubling Season, obviously very crucial in a Planeswalker deck. This one, when your Planeswalker ETBs, it doubles the number of loyalty counters right on the spot, so many of them can just instant ultimate. And also when you plus your Planeswalkers, it also doubles the amount of counters you put on as a plus. So just the best card in the deck for powering up Planeswalkers. Inexorable Tide, this one proliferates every time you cast any spell. Then we've got our Oaths. Oath of Gideon gives you an extra loyalty on your Planeswalkers. Oath of Nissa just lets you fix your mana for Planeswalkers. And Oath of Teferi lets you, again, activate your abilities twice. Again, that's going to be by far your strongest Oath. Then a couple value cards. We've got Rhystic Study and Smothering Tithe. Moving on then to our last category, artifacts and enchantments. So first off, we've got some mana ramp in Nature's Lore and Farseek. Got some tutoring in Demonic Tutor, Vampiric Tutor, Enlightened Tutor. Have our board wipes in Toxic Deluge, Supreme Verdict, and Merciless Eviction. And again, the nice thing with being in 4 colors is you can really just play the best of everything when it comes to artifacts and enchantments. So we get the cream of the crop in all of these colors. Cyclonic Rift, obviously, in blue, very strong. And then getting to our spot removal, we've got Anguished Unmaking, Assassin's Trophy for any type of permanence, and we've got Swords to Plowshares for creatures. Mana Drain for our counterspell. Teferi's Protection, again for protecting your table. Tezzeret's Gambit, just drawing cards and proliferate. And Deploy the Gatewatch, which is just a fun card. Again, not amazingly strong. You've got 21 Planeswalkers in here, so it's like a 1 in 5 of hitting a Planeswalker. And what this does is for 6 mana, you get to look at the top 7 of your library and put 2 Planeswalkers onto the battlefield. So hopefully you hit 2. Otherwise, like I said, just a fun card to kind of spin the wheel and look at the top of your deck. And last but not least, Eerie Ultimatum. Again, just an amazing card in these colors in EDH. Literally returns any number of permanent cards with different names from your graveyard directly to the battlefield. So late game, you can bring back all your Planeswalkers, all your creatures, all your artifacts and enchantments, even every card in the deck that's a permanent, which almost all of them are, come back and hit the battlefield. Thanks for watching, guys. That was my Atraxa Praetors Voice Commander deck.